This is a Day AI presentation for April 13th. On this date, history cuts across centuries like a blade through time, leaving marks in war, survival, discovery, and collapse. In the year 1638, the Edict of Nantes was signed on April 13th by Henry IV of France, attempting to calm the brutal religious wars between Catholics and Protestants. It was a rare political breath in an era defined by blood and belief, an attempt to hold a fractured nation together with law instead of fire. In 1633, Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13th in colonial Virginia. He would later become a central architect of the United States founding ideology, shaping ideas of liberty that would echo across revolutions, contradictions, and centuries of conflict. In 1204, during the Fourth Crusade, Constantinople was violently sacked on April 13th. One of the most powerful cities in the world at the time was torn apart by crusading forces meant to defend Christendom, showing how ideology can collapse into internal destruction when power turns inward. On April 13th, 1906, San Francisco was still in the grip of chaos from the massive earthquake that struck 2 days earlier, with fires continuing to consume the city. Survival became improvisation, and the modern urban disaster response era began taking shape in real time through necessity, not planning. In 1919, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred in Amritsar on April 13th. British troops opened fire on a peaceful gathering, killing hundreds of civilians. It became one of the most defining moments in the history of colonial resistance in India, a point where trust in empire broke into irreversible fracture. Fast forward to space and science. On April 13th, 1970, Apollo 13 suffered a catastrophic oxygen tank explosion en route to the moon. What was meant to be a lunar landing mission turned into a survival scenario in deep space. The phrase "Houston, we've had a problem" became a symbol of crisis management under impossible conditions. The crew's fight to return alive transformed the mission into one of the most studied rescues in human spaceflight history. In 1997, Tiger Woods won the Masters tournament on April 13th, becoming the youngest ever champion at the time and reshaping the landscape of professional golf. It marked a shift in sports culture, media attention, and global athletic dominance. Across invention and progress, April 13th sits in the long shadow of Apollo 13's engineering improvisation. The systems built to bring astronauts home relied on rethinking oxygen, power, and navigation under extreme constraint. It became a case study in how failure can become architecture for future survival. Births and leadership echoes continue to thread through the date, from Thomas Jefferson's ideological influence to figures shaped by the consequences of empire, science, and revolution. Deaths on this date are less singularly defined in global memory compared to its events, but the weight of April 13th is not in one ending. It is in repeated moments where systems failed, shifted, or were forced to adapt under pressure. Across all of this, a pattern emerges. Empires fracture, cities burn, missions fail, revolutions begin, and in each case humans either collapse under pressure or reconfigure reality just enough to continue. This is a Day AI presentation. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. When we look at April 13th, we are not just looking at isolated events. We are looking at a recurring structure of pressure and response, where civilization is repeatedly tested at its edges and forced to redefine what survival means. There is a quiet truth embedded in all of it. History does not move in straight lines. It moves in ruptures, repairs, and reroutes. We must reflect on the past to understand the present, to shape the future. If it can be done, we will do it here on Day AI. See you at a later date.